More on this. We welcome Matt Keelan, principal of the Vogel Group, and Fred Hicks, founder and president of Hicks Evaluation Group. Gents, thanks. Listen, I think sometimes in the media we remember how people view others. We remember when they were saying that the vice president was incredibly unpopular. We remember when they were saying Joe Biden was struggling in the polls. But sometimes I think us remembering and talking about it doesn't always mean that they can't get the job done when pressed upon. I want to share what Tulsi Gabbard, a person who would know, had to say about underestimating the vice president. Listen to this.
I think Kamala Harris has a lot of experience. She is not to be underestimated. If I can be helpful to President Trump in any way, it really is just in sharing the experience that I had with her on that debate stage in 2020. Kamala Harris has already shown that she is trying to move away from her record, move away from her positions, and how that contradicts the positions and statements that she is making now, that she is the Democratic nominee.
Listen, Matt, I'm not going to suggest she's a latter-day Gipper, but I think it would be a mistake to suppose that she can't rally support. What say you?
Well, absolutely. She's had a great rollout of her campaign. The media has been complicit in that, allowing her to kind of change her positions. Problem is now voters are starting to tune in, and they know Kamala Harris for what she said she was, which is a very progressive candidate for president in 2020 and a very progressive vice president under Joe Biden. You know that the Harris campaign is starting to get desperate when they call Joe off the bench, or off the beach actually, to come in and campaign, particularly with a union like IBEW, which should be in the bag for the Democrats at this point. But the problem she has is their members aren't buying what she's selling.
Right.
They understand the Green New Deal likely puts a lot of them out of work.
See, and this is one of the real challenges, Fred. She can say what she wants now, but the fact is we do have a record to look at. And yet they continue to insist, does the Harris-Walz campaign, that they are the underdogs in all this. Let me share a campaign statement. This says in part, since Vice President Harris entered the race in late July, our campaign has seen record fundraising numbers, a surge in volunteer interest, and a spike in enthusiasm to participate in this November's election. It goes on to say, however, make no mistake, we head into the final stretch of this race as the clear underdogs. Donald Trump has a motivated base of support with more support and higher favorability than he has had at any point since 2020. Quickly, Fred, are they on point with this, or are they sort of pulling our legs?
Well, I think all things are true. There's the reality that she has a record, and she's actually quite proud of that record, and we Democrats are not afraid of that record. I think it's also true that she's had a surge of enthusiasm, as we can tell by the hundreds of millions of dollars that she's raised, the hundreds of thousands of people who volunteered, and the fact that she's closed the gap significantly, completely wiped away the advantage that Donald Trump and J.D. Vance had when they left the RNC convention. But all that being said, she's still not ahead, and it doesn't feel quite comfortable. So all the polling says that she and Trump are in a statistical tie, both nationally, well, although she's a little bit ahead nationally, but in the swing states of Pennsylvania and so on and so forth, the Rust Belt, Sun Belt states. So there's a lot of work to do. And this is all about setting expectations and making sure that your base remains motivated and that your supporters remain engaged and you don't take the foot off the gas.
Yeah.
This is Labor Day, the official start, and there's a lot of work to do.
60-plus days to go. Fred Hicks and Matt Keelan. Gentlemen, thank you so much. It will be interesting to see how things turn out down the stretch, in particular, as, again, voters get a chance to re-examine not just her record, and compare what she said then compared to what she says now, but also getting a chance to see her personality and see if they like that moving forward. Gents, thank you so much. Julie.
Making the American dream of home ownership available to all people is something we have to do for people who are here now.
This is before you're a citizen. This is undocumented. This is for the undocumented.
Well, what I would like to do is move them to documented.
As millions of Americans face a nationwide housing crisis, California lawmakers passing a bill that would give illegal immigrants money to become